evening, everybody. I'm going to talk about Isaiah 35 tonight. And I'm going to read it first because the word is so powerful. You don't really have to add anything to it or take away from it. It resonates within us. So Isaiah 35, it says, "The wilderness and a solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellence of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God. Strengthen you the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, Be strong. Fear not, behold, your God will come with a vengeance, even God with a recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the habitation of dragons where each lay shall be grass with reeds and rushes." And you see, that speaks to me in a lot of ways. But the biggest thing that I want to share with you is I want to read it in the Living Bible interpretation. And I want you to understand it, and then I'll talk for just a minute or two. Isaiah 35, Living Bible, beginning with verse 1. "Even the wilderness and desert will rejoice in those days. The desert will blossom with flowers. Yes, there will be an abundance of flowers, singing, and joy. The deserts will become as green as the Lebanon mountains, as lovely as Mount Carmel's pastures and Sharon's meadows. For the Lord will display his glory there, the excellency of our God. With this news bring cheer to all discouraged ones. Encourage those who are afraid. Tell them, Be strong, fear not. For your God is coming to destroy your enemies. He is coming to save you. And when he comes, he will open the eyes of the blind and unstop the ears of the deaf. The lame man will leap up like a deer, and those who could not speak will shout and sing. Springs will burst forth in the wilderness and streams in the desert. The parched ground will become a pool with springs of water in the thirsty land. Where desert jackals lived, there will be reeds and rushes. And a main road will go through that once deserted land. It will be named the Holy Highway. No evil-hearted man may walk upon it. God will walk there with you. Even the most stupid cannot miss the way. No lion will lurk along its course, nor will there be any other dangers. Only the redeemed will travel there. These, the ransomed of the Lord, will go home along that road to Zion, singing the songs of everlasting joy. For them all sorrow and sighing will be gone forever. Only joy and gladness will be there." So what does that say to me? Well, God gave me that chapter when my daughter was coming home. And it had been 10 years. It had been 10 years of little to no contact. And when God gave me that, I didn't really understand it. But when the miracle unfolded in front of me, I got it. I really got it. Let me explain to you how God talks to me. You see, what he was telling me was, even the wilderness and the desert's going to rejoice. I had been in that wilderness and desert place where it came to my relationship with her. And the desert would blossom with flowers. So my grief was over. My sorrow was over where it came to her. It's been a blossoming over the past several months. And then there would be an abundance of flowers, singing, and joy. I didn't know it could be this way. I didn't know it could be restored like that for me. I had no clue God would do it. But God did it. And he wants to do it for all of us. And this passage really speaks to me. It says, "With this news, bring cheer to all discouraged ones." It's time for us to lift each other up. We all have lost loved ones or lost prodigal children. It's time for us to lift each other up and believe that they're coming home and stand on those promises from God and watch them come home. So let me go on. I'm sorry I get excited. And we need to tell others, "Be strong, fear not, for your God's coming to destroy your enemies." Those people that were responsible for destroying relationships, for removing your family from the house of God. God's going to destroy those relationships. God's going to let them see what those people were like. So it's time for us to stand on the promises of God. For us. It's for us. And when he comes, it says he'll open the eyes of the blind and unstop the ears of the deaf. In my mind, our prodigals are blind and they're deaf. We need their eyes to be opened and their ears to be unstopped. Their eyes so that they can see the great things of God and the things that point us to the end times. And they need their ears to be unstopped so that they can hear for themselves from God. And then it says, the lame man will leap up like a deer, and those who could not speak will shout and sing. So in my mind, what that's telling me is those that couldn't pray, those that couldn't come back to church for whatever reason, God's going to remove their obstacles and they're going to come back. They are going to come back. They're going to leap. They're going to shout. They're going to dance. They're going to work for God. And that those who couldn't speak, they're going to shout and sing. They're going to talk of the wondrous things of God. They're going to be vibrant about God. They're going to want to work for God. And then it says, the parched ground will become a pool with springs of water in the thirsty land, where desert jackals, or where what was it? Not monsters, but the dinosaurs lived. There will be reeds and rushes. There'll be grass. There'll be plenty. And then it says, and a main road will go through that once deserted land. It will be named the Holy Highway. So in my book, what I'm claiming is that through our children's lives, when they walked away from holiness, through their lives, now there's going to be a highway, and it's going to be called the Holy Highway. And no evil-hearted man may walk upon it. God will walk there, not just with them, but with us also. And then it says, even the most stupid cannot miss the way. And believe me, some days I think we are all pretty stupid. We don't listen to God like we should. We don't do things like we should, but God is always there for us. And then no lion will lurk along its course, nor will there be any other dangers. Only the redeemed will travel there. And that's what really hit me, is when I read about the redeemed in this passage. I thought, wow, the redeemed. You know, he redeemed us, but he's going to redeem our backslidden families, our backslidden children, our backslidden friends. They're coming home. But we have to be able to see things as though they are when they're not that way. We have to be able to see them in our mind worshiping God. We have to be able to see it, and we have to not let them push our buttons so that these passages can come true. And then it says, these, the ransom of the Lord, will go home along that road to Zion, singing the songs of everlasting joy. For them all sorrow and sighing will be gone forever. Because people sigh a lot when they're not in church. They don't have that hope that we have. They don't. You know, when bad things happen, they just don't have what's needed in order to be what they need to be in God. So it's time for us. It's time for us to believe for them. It's time for us to see them. When they're having a bad time, it's time for us to encourage them. It's time for us to say, hey, if God promised you that, you need to clean out a place in your house for that. You need to make room for that miracle. And that's what I'm saying today. Make room for the miracle of our lost loved ones. And you can take this however you want to take it, but that's how God talked to me about this passage for me. And I really think that's what this is about, encouraging people. We're here to encourage and lift each other up. So let's lift each other up to believe in our miracles again, and to step out by faith again, and to not stop stepping out by faith until the miracle is a reality. Because believe me, it will be a reality in Jesus' name. God bless y'all. Have a nice night.